Hello YouTube, this is Dhruva Mundodi and welcome to my channel Mundodi Vlogs. So my dear friends, since few days I have been facing some issues with my bike like starting problem, low pickup, low mileage, some sort of a missing kind of a feeling even after riding it for 1 or 2 kilometers. The bike would simply refuse to start without pulling the choke lever even when the engine is hot. Now, as I narrate this issue, I know you guys might have already related it to the E20 petrol issue. Yes, even I am aware of it, and I have a small doubt about that as well. But the carburetor on my bike is pretty new. Like, I just replaced it few months back since my old carburetor had developed some issues with the slide, the diaphragm, and all. I just decided to put on a new carburetor. But it's not the updated E20 compliant carburetor which has been recently released by RoyalEnfield. It's just a normal carburetor what I have installed. Anyways, for a new carburetor to develop some serious issue because of the E20 petrol exposure to its internal parts, it might take some thousands of kilometers of riding or few months of exposure at least. That is what I think. Apart from this, I have also installed a fuel filter in addition to the internal fuel filter provided by RoyalEnfield near the fuel tap. For now, I seriously believe that there is a 50-50 chances of this being something related to the carburetor, but instead I have few doubts on the electricals of the bike like the TCI unit, the ignition coil, the amp meter, etc. Because in the past I have faced similar issues with the electricals of the bike like the TCI unit or the ignition coil, and the bike behaved exactly the same. So I have that doubt as well. Anyways, let's address the elephant in the room. I'll take my bike to my trusted mechanic and let's see what the issue is. As usual, I'm at Ideal Garage Sullia and my mechanic has already checked the electricals of the bike and he says it's in perfect working condition. Just to be sure, we have also checked the battery and even the battery health is in good condition. So the doubt of electrical issue with the bike is ruled out, and so we are definitely sure that there is some issue with the carburetor. Now let's open the carburetor and check what the issue is. In order to remove the carburetor, and if you have to access it properly, you'll have to remove the resonator box first, which has already did. Now he is unscrewing the screws of the float bowl and it's almost done. Okay, now the float bowl is out. Oh my god, look at the fuel in the float bowl. My goodness, I have never seen something like this in my past 9 years of ownership. Look at the fuel. Is it water mixed with rust? Unbelievable. I'm sure it's only because of the E20 fuel and nothing else, because the petrol what we get here in India has got 20% alcohol in it, and this alcohol has the tendency to attract water molecules, and these water molecules over time will create rust inside the tank, and these rust particles will get accumulated in the carburetor and thereby choking the carburetor, creating all this nuisance. Now he's removing the float of the carburetor, and that's the float pin. You should be very careful not to lose it. It's a very small part. This is the main jet what he is removing. It's also called a speed jet because it controls the speed of the vehicle. Whenever you give throttle above 30%, the main jet circuit will start working, and in case if this jet is clogged, your bike won't attain its top speed. Look at the white residue on the main jet. I'm sure it has got something to do with the E20 petrol because look at the residue. The E20 petrol is reacting with the metal inside the carburetor and it is creating some sort of a white and bluish residue. Now he's unscrewing the screws of the diaphragm head. This is a CV carburetor and it has got a diaphragm inside it. Okay, that's the slide and the main jet needle. Both the diaphragm and the slide seems to be in good condition. Now he's removing the atomizer lock. So he'll have to tap it like that. Okay, so the atomizer lock is out. In RoyalEnfield, the atomizer is attached to the main jet as a single part, whereas in some bikes you can take it off separately from the main jet. Atomizer will be having small precision holes in it, and when placed inside the venturi, it will break down the liquid fuel into small micro droplets mixed with the incoming air from the air filter. It will create a combustible mixture for the engine. It's very important for it to be clean for optimal performance of the vehicle. Now he has taken an old clutch cable and made a makeshift cleaner out of it. It's a very handy tool. Now he's removing the pilot jet or the idle jet. It's also called a slow jet because this jet controls the idle speed of the bike, and in case if it is clogged, the bike will be having misfires during idling and the bike will have lag in the initial pickup. Here he is using some carburetor spray so that it will help loosen the gunk and dirt accumulated inside the deep corners of the carburetor. Also some spray for the main jet, the atomizer and the idle jet. The float bowl has been cleaned and is taken care of. Royal Enfield has also launched E20 carburetor kit for the existing carburetor, and also they have separately launched a E20 carburetor which they claim addresses all the E20 fuel related issues. But I have a question for Royal Enfield. What have you guys done for the tank rusting issue? Because if you don't address the tank rusting issue, this problem cannot be solved. See, the E20 performance problem can be solved using bigger jets, and that's what basically you have done with your new E20 carburetor and E20 carburetor kit. You have provided with bigger main jet, bigger pilot jet. It might increase the performance, it might give good pickup on the E20 fuel, but at the same time with the sacrifice of mileage, that's understandable. But what have you done for the tank rusting issue? Unless your engineers address this problem with the updated tank, the carburetor choking problem cannot be solved. See, until today I was using this paper based fuel filter. It has got a small magnet inside it as well. But then I thought, if this paper based fuel filter would have done its job properly, I wouldn't have faced this carburetor choking problem. So I decided to upgrade the filter and started searching for a better filter, and now I am using this glass filter. It's very cleverly designed. The petrol enters through that steel mesh. The larger particles will be filtered over there and the fine particles will be attracted to the magnet which is placed at the bottom, and since the water is more dense, the water will be accumulated at the bottom and the petrol will be sucked through the top pipe. And the build quality is really nice and it can be easily removed for cleaning. It's a very nice filter. I'll put the purchase link in the description box. So that's it for today guys. I hope you have found my video to be informative and interesting. If you have liked my video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel Mundodi Vlogs for more such informative and interesting videos in the future. Thank you friends.